Have you ever felt like something inside you is stuck? Like no matter how much you achieve, how many goals you tick off, there's a quiet voice whispering, "You're not enough?" A voice that feels younger, almost childlike. Maybe it shows up as perfectionism, or people-pleasing, or a fear of abandonment that keeps you trapped in cycles of unhealthy relationships. What if I told you that voice isn't you, it's your inner child? The part of you that learned to survive in a world that felt unsafe. The part that still carries the weight of unmet needs, buried emotions, and generational patterns you never asked to inherit. But here's the truth. You are not broken. You don't need fixing. You need reparenting. Inspired by Dr. Charles Whitfield's groundbreaking book, Healing the Child Within, this journal isn't just pages and prompts. It's a 12-week conversation with your younger self. A journey to finally give that wounded inner child what they needed all along: safety, compassion, and a roadmap to freedom. Whether you're recovering from childhood trauma, narcissistic parenting, or simply feel disconnected from your authentic self, this is your invitation to come home, to rewrite your story, to heal. So, what makes this journal different? Most self-help tools focus on symptom management, gratitude lists, productivity hacks, affirmations, but they rarely address the root cause: childhood wounds that shape how we think, feel, and relate to the world. Charles Whitfield taught us that until we heal the child within, the part of us stuck in survival mode, we'll keep repeating the same patterns, overworking to prove our worth, sabotaging relationships because intimacy feels dangerous, struggling to set boundaries because we were never taught how. This journal is built on 3 pillars of trauma-informed healing. 1. Safety first. Before any manifesting or goal setting, you'll learn to regulate your nervous system and create an inner sanctuary for your wounded child. 2. Cycle breaking. You'll identify generational patterns, like emotional repression or toxic loyalty, and replace them with conscious, intentional choices. 3. Authentic freedom. Healing isn't about becoming perfect. It's about reclaiming your right to joy, creativity, and peace. Each week, you'll receive daily prompts to gently uncover memories and beliefs. For example, what did younger me need to hear, but never did? Science-backed exercises like somatic grounding, neuroplasticity mantras, and boundary scripts. Weekly reflections to track progress and celebrate wins. No toxic positivity here. Real growth is messy. This isn't about fixing yourself. It's about befriending the parts of you that learn to hide, to armor up, to stay small. Let's break down the journey. Phase 1. Understanding your inner child. Weeks 1-4. Here, you'll create a foundation of safety. Think of it like building a cozy, firelit cabin for your inner child to step into. You'll explore questions like, what did I learn about love, worthiness, and trust as a child? When did I start hiding my true feelings to survive? Through guided exercises, you'll reparent your nervous system. Use breathwork and grounding techniques to soothe anxiety. Identify core wounds. Map how childhood experiences shaped your adult behaviors. Build trust. Learn to listen to your body's signals. Spoiler, it's always trying to protect you. Phase 2. Breaking generational cycles, weeks 5-8. This is where you become a cycle breaker. You'll confront inherited patterns like people-pleasing, emotional avoidance, or financial fear and ask, does this belong to me, or did I inherit it? Key exercises include boundary blueprints, scripts to say no without guilt, for example. I can't pour from an empty cup. Family tree healing. Writing letters to ancestors to release what's not yours to carry. Rituals of release. Burning old vows, for instance. I'll never be like my parents, that keep you stuck. Phase 3. Reclaiming freedom, weeks 9-12. Now, the fun begins. You'll design a life that aligns with your authentic self, not old survival scripts. Think. Joy mapping. Rediscovering hobbies your inner child loved. Dancing, painting, stargazing. Legacy building. Creating traditions that honor your values. Example, weekly soul dates or gratitude circles. Fearless self-expression. Experimenting with bold choices, career shifts, creative projects, vulnerable conversations. As Whitfield wrote, healing the child within isn't about returning to the past, it's about reclaiming the future. Let's flip through the journal. Daily pages include guided prompts, not vague questions like, "What are you grateful for?" but targeted inquiries like, "What emotion does your inner child need to express today?" Affirmations, not just, "You're amazing," but trauma-informed mantras like, "I am safe to feel anger," or "My needs are not a burden." Action steps, micro, commitments to build momentum. For instance, text a friend one vulnerable truth. Weekly features, progress trackers, visual timelines to see how far you've come. Boundary challenges, real-life experiments. Example, say no to one request this week. Creative spaces, doodle, vent, or collage. No rules, just release. Bonuses, crisis toolkit, grounding exercises, therapist directories, and scripts for tough conversations. Legacy letter template, a guided format to write to future generations or your future self. This journal is for survivors of childhood trauma, neglect, or emotional abuse. People pleasers, ready to prioritize their needs. Cycle breakers determined to leave generational pain in the past. Anyone who's tired of feeling stuck in anxiety, shame, or self-doubt. You don't need a therapy degree or hours of free time. Just 10-15 minutes a day. Maybe you're thinking, but what if I'm too damaged? What if it doesn't work? Let me remind you, healing is not a linear checklist. Some days you'll journal with clarity. Other days you'll rage doodle or leave pages blank. That's okay. Perfection isn't the goal, showing up is. As Whitfield reminds us, the child within doesn't need you to be perfect, they just need you to try. Imagine this, 12 weeks from today, you wake up feeling lighter. The voice that once whispered, "You're too much," now says, "You're safe." The cycles that felt inescapable are replaced with choices that honor your worth. This journal is your map. Click the link below to start your 12-week journey. Gift it to a friend. Share it with your therapist. Your inner child has waited long enough. It's time to come home.